So it's cold out, very cold out. And I'm making do. Let me see how we're doing here. I'm making do. I wasn't able to pay for my prescription this month. I wasn't able to pay for my taxes this month. So, if y'all would keep me in your prayers and think about not just me, but anybody, if you're watching a creator's content and you're getting something from their channel, the very least you can do is to give the channel a thumbs up to help it with the YT algorithm, and consider subscribing if it's somebody that you watch all the time. I'm teetering right on the edge of giving up because it causes me a lot of aggravation to be right on the brink of being able to monetize my channel and afford the things that I need, like diapers and piddle pads and all that other old people stuff that you need. And it's just a wasted resource because you figure it's out there. But hey, Fancy, it's out there. But just by the sheer number of people that go to sites and they don't like and subscribe, they're really holding back a lot of creators, myself included. Bear Nation, Luis Santiago, who's a really good, hardworking guy of Grand Supreme News Channel, and he's got a family to support. He's got like 6 kids, and he does Uber Eats and on DoorDash and all that. So, in any case, Bible verse, if you confess. So what I wanted to talk about, and my smartphone's going to let me down. That's frustrating too, because I wanted to afford a hotspot, an internet hotspot this month. Wasn't able to do that. The quality of my videos would be much higher because if I had the hotspot, I would have enough of internet to not only make the video and go live, but to also research things that I needed to know about at the same time. And the system here is just so overloaded. I have 2 boosters that help the speed of the internet and they help the strength of it. They're repeaters. And even with that, I just barely scrape by. So like I said, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm just going to place it in God's hands. But the reason I'm making this video again is that a lot of people are coming to faith, and everybody knows that we're right on the edge of something. You know, atheists know that something's going on. Jews know, Christians know, Muslims know. You know, everybody thinks that the other shoe is about to drop in 2024. Everything's happening like right out of the Bible. You know, if you got the Bible, you know the future. You know that the bear country is going to keep on going with their aggression. They're going to keep on pushing south all the way to the sea, because the bear country needs a warm water port for their ships and submarines. And the only way they get that is if they keep land grabbing all the way down south and all the way past Israel to the back to the ocean. And that's their end game. And that will give them a year-round warm water port. Everybody's got an agenda. So the progressives in this country have destroyed this country. And 45 put it very poorly when he said that the immigrants had poisoned the blood of this country. You know, he loves to say things that stand people on edge. But the fact of the matter is that I've been having these dreams of the future and all, and I've dreamed that the flag of Allah is going to be flying over 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, over the WH, if you didn't know what 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is. And that these people that are pouring into the country, and they're a replacement population. Don't kid yourself that it has anything to do with our government being compassionate to the needs of anybody. Because by and large, the people pouring into this country are not families seeking asylum. They're military-aged men. Most of them are very physically fit, and they have no intention of blending into the American way. And see, the progressives think that, well, these people coming into the country will be so grateful that they're going to want to vote Democrat, and that we'll have a one-system banana republic so that the progressives can bring in all of this wokeism, so they have an agenda. And the people coming into the country, by and large, most are Muslim, and they have an agenda. Their agenda is to proselytize for the sake of Allah, and convert the infidel, or else. And see, very naive people are going to these marches, and they're going free, free, rah, 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 free, free, rah, 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 from the land to the sea, free, free, rah, rah, rah. You know, they're rooting for everybody else, mob mentality. and they don't realize they're rooting for their own destruction. Because the one man went to one of these rallies with a gay pride flag, and they grabbed the flag away from the guy. They gave him the beat down, and then they stomped on the flag and set it on fire. So obviously, when they take over in America, a lot of people are going to have a shock, because the very people that they're rooting for are the very people that are going to shut them down in the future. Because over in the Middle East, if somebody is gay, they either toss the person off the top of a building, or they string them up and let them hang for a few days as a reminder to the population what happens if you stray. And see, the whole thing to me is a very hypocritical thing, because these holy men of God went into kibbutzes in Israel, and they ravished women. One family, they put the lady's baby in an oven and turned the oven on while they raped the woman in front of her husband while they cooked her baby. And then they capped her husband, and then they took the lady back as a captive, you know. And these are supposed to be holy men of God, and they don't associate with women, you know, out in public. And the women got to wear these head coverings with just these little eye slits going on, which is biblical, because back in Bible days, it says that fallen angels saw the women's beautiful hair and would swoop down and take a woman for themselves. So that's the historical background of the headpiece and the hijab of a woman covering her hair, was so not as to attract fallen angels. But, you know, we don't have fallen angels right at this moment that are swooping down and you know, taking silly women captive, as what it says in the Bible. So there's really not a need for the headdress. It's just more of an institution now that people don't know what it's for, but they know that they used to need it, so they keep on doing it. And if a woman doesn't wear, you know, the hijab, she gets stoned, or she gets acid thrown in her face, or pummeled. You know, they're not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to drive a car. Like I said, the men don't get with the women because they're holy men of God, but yet they'll get with the young tenderoni boy. They're called Bakabazi boys. And these Bakabazi boys dress up very effeminate and service the men at their parties. Now that to them is okay, you know. But then the problem is when the Bakabazi boy comes of age, you know, he's an outcast because he's too old to be a young tenderoni for these old perverts. And he's too effeminate, and he's used up, and he's an outcast everywhere in their society. Very sad. Anytime you have something that's against nature, that's how it works out in the end. Very sad. But all of that is coming to America. all that is coming to America, and the be all and end all of this is that they're giving these people world citizenship. And if you think that the 2024 election is going to change anything or make America great again or any of that other stuff, you couldn't be more wrong, because you can't give people what they don't want. And people are sopping up what this man has said in office. You know, he's a 50-year consummate liar. And people, you know, he'll say, well, I may have lied earlier, but I'm telling you the truth this time. And people are like, oh, yeah, well, that's fine then, you know. And they just buy the lie. They buy the lie that we're doing this on behalf of these people for humanitarian reasons. Nothing could be further from the truth. And when the 2024 election is over with, and it doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat, because I believe that there are banana Republicans as much as there are progressives. So it won't make any difference. And I believe the next president is going to be a woman. I believe that it's going to be Michelle Obama. I believe that it's going to be Michelle, Barry's wife, on their fourth term. So even if it's a Republican, it's not going to matter, because the train is too far down the tracks, and we've been spent into oblivion. Our oil reserves are used up. We've given away all of our weapons to other countries to defend themselves. And there's nothing left for us except our nuclear arsenal. And that's what makes things really dangerous, is because when a nation runs out of conventional weapons and it's got a nuclear arsenal left, and that's the only thing they can afford to use, believe me, at some point they're going to use it. But all these people coming into this country, some of them are already being deputized and being put into police forces all over our country. And I guarantee you, when the time comes and they're told to thunk heads on the average American person, that they will definitely be more than willing to comply and thunk some heads. But the good Lord says that when a nation turns its back on God, that God uses the enemy of that nation to bring it down. And I believe that's where we're at right now. And you got to get ready, fam. You got to have your soul salvation first, and then your physical fitness and your preps, then your family, and then everything else that you can think of to prepare. Because 2024 is going to be a rough ride. And most people aren't going to be ready when it happens. Poppy pops out.